One person I can't stop thinking about is Tom Bradby. And of all sources to start this discussion, I'm actually going to source the Tatler, which is also known as the Aristocratic Bible. I mean, this is nothing but fluff and stuff for the Blue Bloods, right? And Tom Bradby is mentioned in a April 2021 column that was written by, or article, should I say, Isaac Bickenstaff. Isaac Bickenstaff. Anyway, it says here, Prince William has reportedly cut ties with ITV's Tom Bradby. The News at 10 presenter who secured William and Kate's exclusive engagement interview a decade ago has reportedly taken Prince Harry's side since his departure from the royal household. And rightly so, right? The article goes on, and I do apologize for this in advance. Dan Wootton, the former executive editor of The Sun, has moved to become a columnist at the Daily Mail Online, or the Mail Online, and has kicked things off with royal exclusive. He writes that according to a senior source, and remember, the calls are coming from inside the house. Remember that. The calls are coming from inside the palace. So anyway, he writes that according to his senior royal sources, the 2-decade-long friendship between Prince William and ITV News anchor Tom Bradby has come to an end owing to Bradby's friendship with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. The Duke of Cambridge is said to have been left frustrated that the former royal correspondent and host of ITV's News at 10 has appeared to side with his brother and sister-in-law in their break from the royal household. In other words, he's incandescent with rage. The prince formed a friendship with Bradby after he was appointed to ITN Royal News Correspondent in 2001 at age 34. According to Wootton, while the phone calls and communications between the Duke of Sussex in California and Bradby in London have been commonplace, remember, that's according to Wootton. According to Wootton, we don't know that this is factual. William, by comparison, is said to no longer trust the high-profile journalist who was once a close confidant. Okay, so as reported in the Mail Online, a royal insider told Wootton, remember, the calls are coming from inside the house. Remember that. The calls are coming from inside the house. The friendship between William and Tom is very much over. The Duke feels let down by Bradby and the way he's acted over the past few months. William is a sensitive soul. It's in times of crisis when you find out who your true friends are. It would be fair to say Bradby hasn't been one of them. Now, again, this is according to Dan Wootton. You know, Dan Wootton of the calls are coming from inside the house. You know, I'm paraphrasing. But the source added, some staff at the palace are even angrier about Bradby and his tone and the tone of his reporting at ITV News, which they consider to be pro-Harry and Meghan. It's been very difficult to accept given the long history between Bradby and Williams. Well, imagine how Bradby feels when he realized that the person that he was so close to, or the other person that he was so close to, that being, of course, Prince William, has turned out to be the Prince William that drove his brother and sister-in-law out of the country, allegedly, possibly, considerably, and most likely. Imagine that. Imagine one day the person that you closest to, you find out that he has completely, allegedly, trashed his brother and also made life very difficult for the sister-in-law. Imagine that. So, taking the fact that you have Prince William, who doesn't seem to have as much sense as God gave a lemon, and Tom Bradby, a very educated, well-informed, well-traveled man who knows right and wrong, if he has possibly become closer to Harry in comparison to whatever tepid, insignificant relationship that he may have had with William the Terrible, then of course, because one thing about a person that is incontinent with rage, the fact that they're incontinent with rage, not only are they full of it, but they're so incontinent, they're likely to turn on you. How much would it take for William to turn on Tom Bradby? Oh, I think we just found out. By him extending sympathy to the Sussexes, that was enough to set off William in this incontinent, incandescent rage where literally the follicles were hitting the floor at the rate of about 30 per minute. And and we are where we are. So that's why I said I can't stop thinking about Tom Bradby. Out of all the people that have played a role, including Oprah Winfrey, in this past calendar year, the one person who I haven't heard much about and who I haven't stopped thinking about is Tom Bradby. And the whole thing about the staff is even more angrier than William. I find that really hard to believe. I think they may act out more than William in order to make sure they're in good standing with William, but I doubt if they're more angry. Of course, the courtiers are notoriously more, I guess you could say, high-sprung or more, in outward appearance, they may be more outwardly angry than the person that they're serving. In this case, Prince William and, of course, Duchess Doolittle. But whether or not they're angrier, who knows? I really doubt that. It's just like any good pet. The pet is going to sense your anguish and take on a certain persona that is probably not even natural for their species. Not to compare the staff at Kensington Palace to animals, but until I think of a better description, I'll leave it at that. So apparently, I'm just going to skip through a little bit of this. You can go to the Tatler and find it for yourself if you like. William's relationship with Bradby is not a new thing, blah, 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 blah. He was exclusively requested to interview them, and of course, he went to attend the nuptials at Westminster Abbey, yada, yada, yada. But here's the part that I find interesting. Bradby's friendship with William involved the reporter having direct access to his mobile phone. It was a voicemail Bradby left for the prince, offering to lend him some editing equipment for that became part of the News of the World phone hacking scandal, right? When it was published in the Sunday paper, Bradby was understood to be equally close to Harry. Traveling with him to Lesotho in southern Africa to make a documentary in 2004. He also attended the wedding to Meghan in Windsor in 2018 alongside guests such as Oprah Winfrey. Okay, did you guys get all that? And this is another important thing. Bradby has also had his own struggles with mental health, it says here. He took 4 months out from his job hosting News at 10 in 2018, suffering the mental health equivalent of a heart attack as a result of his insomnia. It was reportedly this public struggle that helped him change the way he interviewed the Duke and Duchess of Sussex on their 2019 South Africa tour. In the interview, the Duchess talked about her struggles of being a new mother and the spotlight and the impact that such a degree of public scrutiny has had on her physical and mental health. Bradby asked the Duchess directly if she was okay, to which the Duchess replied, "Thank you for asking. Not many people have asked if I'm okay," conceding that her time in the media spotlight has been a very serious struggle. Harry also confirmed in the interview that he and his brother, Prince William, were on different paths at the moment. Now, different paths at the moment, of course, means we ain't talking no more. So, everything is there. Tom Bradby obviously has suffered mental difficulties himself. And believe me, if you are in the media, and depending on what you're reporting, one of the reasons why I believe Oprah had got fired from a job before, because she was so connected to the people that she was reporting. When she worked at a local television station, they were crying, she was crying. I mean, it was a lot. And so getting the job in Chicago at the AM Chicago show, eventually the Oprah Winfrey Show, which was nationally and internationally syndicated, that probably saved her a lot of stress. Oprah would report the news and have like these moments, and then of course she would go home and compulsively overeat. That was her way of dealing with it. Tom Bradby, whatever caused his breakdown, I can't say it was actually his job as a reporter, but I'm sure it didn't make it any easier. And so he recognized the signs that the Sussexes were in trouble. And so he asked. And so on the one hand, you have this mean girl and William, who possibly were the source of their anguish, of all of their troubles. Because remember, the calls were coming from inside the house. The calls were coming from inside the house. That's what that Wooten reported. You heard it from his own mouth. I'm sure you've seen that clip where he said that their problems are not the media. The problems are the source inside of Kensington Palace. That's where the problems come from. It wasn't on the outside. The media pretty much would have just, done what they would usually do. But the whole idea of reporting the location of the Sussexes and the whole idea of, let's not forget the baby shower. How did that get leaked to the press? How did that get leaked? The location of the baby shower, that the baby shower was even taking place. And then from there, the room cost this much, and she took a jet, and, all of the things that happened, the calls were coming from inside the house. So, Tom Bradby, this whole thing with William saying that he no longer trusts him, that they're no longer friends, I don't know why that reminds me of The Godfather. I mean, why didn't the William just walk up to him and just kiss him to let the world know that he is now condemned in the eyes of the monarchy? Why didn't he just do that? Because symbolically, that's exactly what it appeared to be. It seemed to be one of those kisses that you may have seen in a movie like The Godfather. So I don't know how that will affect Tom Bradby, But when publicly a future king tells you, let leak some kind of way and does not refute anything that is said, like, I'm no longer friends with him, what are you saying? What are you trying to say to him that you're not saying directly, you're not saying publicly, and we don't even know if he said that. But again, Dan Wooten said that the call came from inside the house, and there is a no complain, no explain policy unless it's something they don't want out there. Then the royal family doesn't explain and doesn't complain, which means essentially if it's to do with the Sussexes, then of course you just don't say anything. But if it has to do with them and they don't want it out there, they talk to their lawyers. Kensington Palace go to their lawyers. Clarence House goes to their lawyers. Everybody lawyers up. But the people that have been lawyering up and lately winning are the Sussexes. And if I can quote the Duchess of Sussex, remember, these harmful practices don't happen once in a blue moon. They are a daily fail that divide us. And we all deserve better. Cut, print, edit. We all deserve better because it's a daily fail. Now, having gotten through this part of this video, let me finish it with this. All I can say is mission accomplished. Someone decided to leave a comment. It says, Meghan has been stripped of her HRH on her exit. Soon all of her and Harry's titles will be revoked when the British Queen consolidates her monarchy. Woo! Don't you love it? Meghan has been stripped of her titles. She has been stripped of her HRH, rather, on her exit. Soon all of her and Harry's titles will be revoked when the British Queen consolidates her monarchy. The Queen hyperextended her back or injured her back by digging an escape tunnel for her son, Andrew. So do you think she's in any position? Do you think she's in any position to deal with something as petty as this? I'm not going to mention the name of the hate watcher that said that, but mission accomplished, because I knew somewhere someone was going to look at the title of that video. Here we go again, HRH, Duchess of Sussex. I knew that was going to happen. I was just waiting, and this person decided to be the one. So, thank you, Kirby. Good job. So, Meghan, of course, is still an HRH, and so is Harry. And as long as the Sussexes are together, which will be forever and a day, that will be a prince and a princess. A prince and a princess. And unless they want to go through a whole lot of trouble and embarrassment, meaning that Parliament would have to act, the HRH is part of Meghan's legal name. They would have to literally take her name from her. Do you understand that, Kirby? They would have to strip her of her name. She's no longer Miss Meghan Markle of California. She is HRH Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. That is her legal name. Now, if she chooses to sign something Meghan Markle, it's legally binding. But her actual legal name, especially over in Narnia, is Her Royal Highness Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. Also known as Princess Henry of Wales. She's a princess of the realm. Her working title is Princess of the Realm. Her non-working title is Princess of the Realm. So, there you have it, Kirby. Thank you for trying to straighten us out anyway. I wish I could let you have the last word, Kirby, but unless you go and start up a new channel for yourself, You won't be on Royal Sussex no more. So anyway, that's it for now. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. And yeah, I'm done. Mission accomplished. Kirby is tossing and turning as we speak right now. She's not able to sleep. She's incandescent with rage and confused about Meghan's legal name. And if you don't believe what I say is true, Kirby, just go over to, that other channel, the one that looks like the flip side of a nickel. and she does remind me of a nickel. I don't know what it is about Lady C and nickels that seem to have this symbiotic relationship. But yeah, she kind of looks like a nickel when she turns sideways. Go over to her channel and she'll tell you the same thing. It's not going to happen. She's always going to be HRH, the Duchess of Sussex. Always. Remember to keep praying and supporting the people who suffered through that horrific tornado that ripped through 6 of these United States. That's the other thing I haven't stopped thinking about. That's it for now. Please like, subscribe, share, donate, etc. If you would like to make a donation and you don't know how, to help support this channel, you can go to the comments section where you can find links to the Patreon, the PayPal, and the Cash App. Thanks for watching Royal Sussex.